My eyes are at Hobart, but my heart is at DY Patil. On the 23rd of March 2003, my heart broke. 8 years later, on the 2nd of April 2011, the men created history. They rewrote history, picked up that World Cup trophy. On the 23rd of July 2017, my heart broke again. And 8 years later, today is the 2nd of November, and I'm keeping my fingers so tightly crossed because the Indian women take on the South African women at the DY Patil for the World Cup final. Joining me today is someone who's been there, done that, handled the pressure, picked up that trophy, knows how it's done, and along with him, someone who understands the emotion I'm going through as well. He's finished his volleyball duties and he's flown in right from Delhi. Yadav, welcome to the studio. It's so good to have you back here.
No, it's wonderful to be back.
Always good to have you.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely great to be back, and also the size of the ball is reduced, but the game is on still, so I'm there with it. And 2 games now, so eyes in both ways, so a lot of focus.
But Joyda, you, I know, understand the emotion I'm going through. Zach has lived the emotion. He doesn't feel that pressure at all because he's lived through it. But I know that you've flown down because you wanted to be a little closer to that venue, which is that DY Patil. Unfortunately, it's still drizzling. So hopefully the weather holds up. But I know that your heart is also there at DY Patil.
No, absolutely. And I'm working. I've worked with Smriti and Jemima. They're just amazing, this team. And again, the redemption story of this tournament itself, you know, when you've counted about, you thought they'd win games, they'd lose by 3 runs, 4 runs, 3 wickets here. And you just feel that that chance is slipping away from their hands because, you know, they're going to meet Australia, who's like an unbeatable team. And nobody has dominated any version of cricket the way the Australian women's team has dominated, you know, 50-over cricket. Nobody has dominated. So for them to defeat that team, it's just such a big moment. It's unbelievable. All I want is for the people, because it's such a high and it's been such an emotional roller coaster. I just want the team to have, I hope they have had time to calm down before this big game. Because this is another game. It starts from 0. Everything's over. So if they can keep their emotions in check, this is our best chance for a long, long time.
You know, talking about emotions in check, Joyda, because it was, like you said, such a big moment because the women's Australian team is what the Australian team was back in 2003. We know how dominating the men's team was, and that's what the women's team's been doing. So just the moment to beat them, we saw those emotions from every single girl in that ground, every single spectator in that ground. Zach talking about emotions, like Joyda is saying, just keep those emotions in check for that big final. Is it really that easy? Because at the back of your head, even if you keep social media off, even if you keep your phones off, because there's so much of the ticket pressure like Harman was talking about, that's a different pressure that players have to handle.
No, there will be distractions, there will be emotions running high, there is no doubt about it. It's a big, big day. And when you beat someone like Australia in the semis, you know, it has taken a lot of energy, it's taken a lot of, like it's draining at times, right? Exactly. So someone in that group, you know, just needs to sit the whole squad down and say that there's one more step to go, you know, what kind of approach they should have. Usually we've seen it's like a pendulum swing, isn't it? Like, you know, what if? Yes. What if we win? What if we lose? You know, I think that's the emotions which usually you have to deal with. Add to that the distractions, you know, suddenly there is a lot of hype, everyone wants to be there to support the team. And excitement is also there. But for the players, it's about, you know, keeping that focus, staying in present, making sure that you don't let the emotions get better of you. I think, you know, that is something which is going to be the key. Just go out there, and as long as you are staying in present, you know, you set the tone right, and then stay in that moment till the time job is not done. Yes. So, you know, not relaxing at any stage. These are the things which are going to matter for them. And the support and the cheer is always going to be there for the team, irrespective of the result. Absolutely. I think, you know, they've achieved quite a lot having the roller coaster ride. But now everything matters on today, what happens.
The big day.
Yeah, Smriti, Dipti, Harmanpreet. They were both, all 3 were there in 2017. Yes. They've seen it, they've lived it. And remember, that was a close run. They fell 9 short, you know, 9 short. It was a winning game, and then they started losing wickets. And all of us were sitting in front of the television set. So they've lived it. They know this. And as I said, I just hope they have the chance for redemption that Zach got 8 years later.
But it's a big landmark day, Joyda, because for the last 2 days, ever since that Australia game, wherever I've gone, I'm shooting for a film. So on a film set, the murmur is not so much what else is happening in the world. It's about the women's game saying, Madam, ticket nahi mil raha hai. Just now, Raja Bhaiya, Wasim Bhaiya is saying, you know, we queued up, there are no tickets. And it's such a big moment in women's cricket and women's sport because it's come such a long way.
You're absolutely right. It's an inflection point. And I'm being honest with you. Today, we are here because of a T20 match and we're going to do our best with this match. But if today, when men are playing a T20, which is a favoured format, and the women are playing a 50 over, if one outtrades the other, if the women outtrade the men, I think it's a huge moment for Indian cricket, for Indian sport as a whole, because I think the women will have finally come into their own. They've got their place in the sun and they so deserve it because their journey has been so much more difficult, whether we admit it or not. Their journey is much more difficult. And I so hope they, grab that opportunity with both hands.
Well, you know this dialogue very well. Agar kisi cheez ko dil se chaho, Jamie is going to be saying that dialogue after that semi-final, but she'll be hope to saying that dialogue after the final as well, as will the whole team. And we wish them all the very best. We will be chatting about that game as well. But we have to move focus to what's happening today at Hobart, because finally Sky has won a toss and he has decided to bowl first. Zach, that toss was just not going our way for a very, very long time, but finally he's won the toss, decided to bowl first. We'll have a look at India's playing 11. I've been told there are quite a few changes in that side. Jitesh Sharma comes in, no Sanju Samson. There's Washington Sundar, there's no Kuldeep Yadav, and there's Arshdeep Singh. And there is no Harshit Rana, who has been discussed so much on social media. Joyda, Zach, major changes again. Is it a knee-jerk reaction you feel, or are they conditions-based?
Well, can be a mix of both. You've seen that temptation is always there, when Sanju Samson was playing to send him up the order. I think, that's something which must have been discussed. We did touch upon the fact that what kind of communication is done with Sanju Samson, because it's not fair if you ask someone from the top order to go bat in the middle order and then you again sending him in the top three. So that is not going to give him that settled approach to his role. And, maybe a think tank has come to that realization, and that's why you're getting someone who is dedicated lower middle order. Jitesh is someone who we've seen has been doing that job of a finisher, and it gives you a better balance in terms of utilizing your resources tactically as well, because Surya and Tilak both they can bat at 3. So Shubman and Abhishek starting the innings, you can have the tactical advantage of keeping left and right with Tilak and Surya. With Sanju now being there, it was just kind of getting that little bit of confusion, a muddled thinking that, okay, how best to utilize your resources. Now that just streamlines things. With regard to bowling, I think the formula they want to stick to is giving emphasis to batting. So Washington Sundar is going to add with the bat as well. Kuldeep was not that effective in the previous game, so maybe a knee-jerk reaction there you can expect to analyze it in that fashion. But other than that, I think Arshdeep is someone who has been so consistent in this format. It was tough on him to be left out of the side. So that pressure was always going to be there to bring him back because he's a wicket taker.
Joyda, I just want to touch upon Sanju Samson. We spoke about it, but we saw that in that last match. We've seen it in the Asia Cup as well. We saw Jitesh doing the whole practice sessions, and then it was Sanju Samson playing. With Gautam Gambhir coaching, there's always a lot to discuss because we don't know what's going to come, what playing 11 is going to come out. Again, today these changes. Sanju Samson, he was promoted in the last game. So was Harshit Rana, and they both don't find a place in the 11.
See, I think there are two things here. Firstly, I think where does the Sanju Samson story start? The Sanju Samson story starts basically because you had to accommodate Shubman Gill. None of this story. You've got Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma working as a batting top order opening combination. They've got 2 centuries together. They did really well together. And I can promise you, if your other batters had done so well together and there'd been no obvious candidate, they should have been given a run of at least 5, 7, 10 matches. Here, what the situation is that once you accommodate Shubman, then you're stuck. Because you say, okay, where do I place Sanju? Because all of us know Sanju's data.
Yes.
Then you're saying, I'm going to push everyone back. So finally, if you're going to bat Tilak at 5, Tilak is not a batter to bat at 5. So then your entire order changes. But to say that it changes because of Sanju Samson is unfair. I'd say it changes because the moment you put in Shubman Gill there at the top spot.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, Shubman Gill's T20 record, leave aside the IPL, is not yet anything to write home about. Okay, but he's a captain of India. We see him as a vehicle for India, so you put him there. But once you put him there, everyone else moves. Just look at those numbers and you'll see the guys who have really done well for you is Abhishek and Samson.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to give Yashasvi Jaiswal a chance, I can understand that. But Shubman at this point in time, in terms of strike rate, in terms of average, he's not your complete T20 batter.
And also the numbers of Samson that we saw, the lower he goes, the numbers drop as well.
The numbers drop.
So
you can't drop. See, if you play Samson, you have to bat him at 1, 2, 3.
yes.
If you bat him at 1, 2, 3, you're moving Tilak and Surya Yadav. Surya Yadav is arguably a most accomplished T20 batter in India still. You know, going by track record, going by numbers, going by everything. He's your captain. So where do you go? So my point is, I think they've limited the damage, but the damage you've already caused it by putting Shubman Gill there.
Yes.
And maybe you have an agenda. You're saying that, okay, T20 World Cup is going to come, that ODI World Cup is going to come. You need him to keep playing, to give continuity to the squad. But the problem has been caused by that, not by Sanju Samson batting at 3. That was because he couldn't bat at 1 or 2. No?
But Zach, exactly what Joyda is saying is you've handled teams, you've been a part of so many teams. Who have you, Joyda? When you shuffle around a team so much, players will say we have to be flexible, we have to be able to play wherever you have to. But that role clarity is very essential for players, isn't it?
Look, by and large, when you're looking at this kind of scenario, there's one thing which stands out is how selection panel is looking at things. You know, so when you're looking at Shubman Gill, they're looking at upside. When you're looking at Sanju Samson, what's going maybe against him right now is the age is not on his side. Plus, if you look at the numbers are very impressive, but you look at the consistency aspect of it. Like, you know, if he scored 412 runs in 13 innings, of that 300s he scored. So what it does actually, when you're looking at number in just isolation,
yes,
you're looking at 13 innings, 3 innings have produced 100, but rest 10 innings, he's managed to score 10. So I think that gap is something, you know, which maybe is not
30,
helping.
40.
Jaiswal is not there at this stage.
Yes.
You know, so there is a lot of competition in that top order. So the decision making is becoming layered. You know, it's just not straightforward that, okay, you know, we want that individual to bat at this strike rate. I think what they're looking at it is the transition, what they're looking at it, keeping the long-term vision also in mind. And that's why some people are getting the nod and some people are not getting the nod. Shubman, yes, of course, you know, they're looking at grooming him as a captain in all format. So you have to make that place. And that's becoming the trade-off. They're understanding, I feel, that maybe in the shorter run, it might create some challenges. But when you're looking at the longer term vision, it's solving a whole lot of things if it falls into place. So I think, you know, that's the way decision making is done. So you have to give them time because they are the ones who are in close proximity. They are the ones who are saying that, okay, you know, this is the brand of cricket you want to play. This is the style of cricket you want to play. And then you're looking at the template is set first and then you're trying to find the individuals to fit the role.
I also believe there's one more thing, that is that you are looking at a T20 World Cup in Feb in India.
Which is why the panic from fans, and you're so close to the World Cup.
But I don't think it's less. I think they're just, look at the Australian squad also. If you look at the Australian squad, you know, Cummins is not there, Hazelwood is not playing, you know. They are also tooling around because these are your last chances to experiment and say, okay, if you deserve to be in the squad, make your statement now, prove yourself now, here are your opportunities. So a bit of that is also happening. Okay, so Jitesh has also got his opportunity. They're all getting their opportunity to say that, okay, they need to, because everyone is not looking at just this. They're looking at February and saying, is my name there in that list? And I think that's what everyone is looking to. The selectors are also saying, okay, this is the 16, 17, 18 players I'm going to try. Of this, my squad is going to come out of this.
But when you say my squad's going to come out of this, Joyda, there's been so much chatter because Arshdeep, he's been the highest wicket taker. He's been the #1 T20 bowler. He didn't find a spot in that 11. Harshit has been finding a spot. Then we were chatting with DK the other day, Zach, you said as well, but DK rated him very highly as a batter, saying India has to bat deep, which is why Harshit plays. Now he goes and proves himself as a batter, and the next game he doesn't play. So this confusion around, is he going to be backed for the long run, or is Arshdeep going to make a play? So just a little confusing, isn't it?
See, I think it's this format that way is a plug and play format. You know, so you've seen, you need that dynamic flexibility within the batting lineup, within the bowling group. It's just 4 overs for a bowler. You got to be ready. You know, it's not the typical, get into your rhythm, bowl a longish spell. You know, like in test matches, it has that kind of approach. In ODIs, it's little longish when you compare it to T20. You suddenly feel that, the time is stretched to another level. So I think this format, you can afford to do these tactical changes. That's the way game is going to evolve as you move further. It's like you get a great start. Suddenly you have a number 5 guy being pushed up the order to bat at number 3. So that's the nature of the format. Players are adapting to this kind of changes. So I think in this format, you can do that. The real question is, and where you see maybe Indian team has to make those tough calls, is that you're still preferring to go in with 3 spinners.
Correct.
In Australian conditions as well, you are managing to do that. And that is something has to be a proactive call. Whether you need 3 genuine seamers and then Shivam Dubey as a support bowler, or you are able to do the impact with just 2 bowlers. So right now also you just have 2 genuine fast bowlers being put in that playing 11. If the conditions are seaming conditions, or there's enough moisture in the wicket, then how you going to set the game up is something, which you have to be very proactive about.
Well, Hobart, we know, is a batting friendly track. So do you think that Washington Sundar is in and Kuldeep's out because of the batting?
Must be, because it certainly doesn't support. I mean, it still sometimes once in a while gets help to seamers. Spinners are not. But I think again, I think Zach's taken a very important point, which is that actually they're saying this is our template for the T20 World Cup. That's going to be played in India. We are going to be playing 3 spinners. We are going to be playing 3 spinners in India. 100% they'll play 3 spinners in India. They're going to be 2 fast bowlers who are going to play. 2 genuine fast bowlers who are going to play. 3 spinners are going to play. This is our template. These are among our run-up matches. So we are just keeping that, okay, this is the template going. This is what we are going to do. These are the ways we are going to play the spinners. They are the 4-5 spinners in my set. I have Kuldeep, I have, Washi, I have, Aksar, I have all these, Jadeja, all these people are trying to say that, okay, these are the bowlers I'm going to go. But I think that is the template that India is looking at, that this is my trial game. This is where I'm setting it. This is where I'm giving players confidence. I'm seeing who does what, how do they perform under pressure. Because this is all a preparation for February. And if I look at it that way, this 3 spinners make sense, because he's absolutely right. In Hobart playing 3 spinners, otherwise, Australia have played T20s here with no spinners.
Yes. Well, you're talking about all this leading up to the World Cup, and Joyda said that even Australia is trying to move things around. We'll have a look at their playing 11 and see what changes they have. That one change that we know was going to happen was Josh Hazlewood is out and Sean Abbott is in. Zach, he is in only for this one game and then he leaves as well. So for Australia, also leading up to the T20 World Cup, they know they have the big Ashes before that. So they have even more things to figure out.
Yeah, this rotation does happen. I think Josh Hazlewood had utilized both the series, ODI and T20 series, to best of his ability. You've seen him in sublime rhythm, just coming in, making it so easy to hit those areas consistently, getting wickets. So I think, his preparation with Ashes is just getting better and better as he's moving along. And with Australia, this change was expected. When you have Sean Abbott being slotted in only for 3 T20s, if he doesn't play this one, he doesn't get a game. So I think that is the thought process there. You'll see the rookie coming in maybe in the remainder of the series to give him some game time, understand how the pressures of international cricket is. But it's a very steady approach from Australia with regard to selection.
Well, Sean Abbott still, Joyda, has that outside chance. He's thinking of, okay, maybe this could be my audition, because Pat Cummins are not fully sure still with if he's going to play or not for the Ashes, right, with the fitness.
So look, I think this is all, they'll talk and all that. Pat Cummins missing a home Ashes. unless he's really seriously injured, he's going to do it. On another note, as I said, Sean Abbott, I always congratulate him because he's the only player who I know who managed to make his ODI debut before celebrating his 6th birthday.
Oh yes, I know this was a
He's
joy
born
factor.
on 29th February.
I remember this being a joy factor question, and I remember people getting those answers as well. But they also have Mali Beardman, who, like you said, that rookie who might come in later. But Sean Abbott has been in good form. He's been the highest wicket taker in this World Cup cycle for them. So again, the point to prove always for a fast bowler.
So I think this is literally, you're talking about, this is their set of bowlers who they're looking to bring to India. And you add to them, Cummins definitely there, and Beardman as well. So I think these 6, 7, 8 bowlers are their fast bowlers who they're going to look at.
Yes. No Hazelwood, of course, is going to be a relief for most Indian batters because the way Zaki was bowling, hitting the deck hard, just constantly bowling there. So Indian batters will be relieved. But there's one Australian batter who also wants to be a little more relieved, is Travis Head, because we know he's been a nemesis to India. We know what he's done on the 19th of November. We know what nightmares he's given us. But his numbers are not really doing the talking, Joyda. 98 runs in 7 games. He's not really been the Travis Head who's really been so destructive. Zach, do you think he's someone, we know he goes attacking from the word go. We are seeing what Mitch Marsh is doing on the other side. Do you think he should maybe change his gears the first 2-3 overs, set himself in?
Well, I think this format you've seen, you want to really make use of the power play. And what matters is the intent and the approach which you have towards that phase of the game, and that is something which a lot of emphasis is given on. So I don't think Travis Head will be looking at changing anything. It's just about getting that big innings when things fall into place. But even in the previous game also, if you see, he scored 28 or 14 deliveries. When the spinner came on to bowl, is the approach and the planning of the team. Mitch Marsh, the kind of form he is in, also supports that cause. So even if he might be feeling right now that, okay, something needs to be changed, but because Mitch Marsh is also in that kind of a form, and as a team, it's the approach to put bowlers under pressure right from the word go in this format. I don't see any changes in his approach in this format for sure.
Joyda, just certain players who take the game away from you. Like we've seen what Viru used to do when he used to play for India. He just takes the game away from you. Head is someone who has gotten the starts. He got that 28, even in the ODIs, he got a 28, 29. He's getting those starts, but he's not converting them into those big numbers, and he's not taking the game away. So just keeping that in mind, do you think he might alter things around?
See, I think it's very interesting. I mean, I was reading a Pat Cummins interview because Pat Cummins had him in Australia and then bought him and has captained him through most of his major things, including the IPL one with the Hyderabad franchise. So he says that with Travis, you have to give him literally his head. That means you have to tell him, this is the way you play, do your thing. And some players just work better that way. And Pat kept saying that no matter, you cannot, you try and alter his style, I don't think it can work. So I think they are happy, and also they are a bit more secure because Mitch Marsh is getting runs on the other end. So because Mitch Marsh is playing so well, they can allow Travis to have a bit of a lean run if necessary. But Travis, I feel fundamentally from even reading that interview, trying to get an understanding of him, he's not a guy to change the way he bats,
But also, Zach, he's somebody who doesn't like the ball going out. And we know that the data, we know how people study batters. Arshdeep and Bumrah will be looking to bowl the one going out to him.
Yeah, for sure. And you have that widest third man. He's been out there a few times. He likes to take the aerial route, especially in the power play. And when the ball is away from you, at times you slice it, and that creates an opportunity there. Another area which a lot of the bowlers have been looking to bowl to him with coming over the wicket, creating that awkward angle to get him out at square leg on the onside typically. But all these analysis, all these weak zones is known for everyone, and it's just that doesn't take anything away from Travis Head. He's also aware of that. He's someone who's been through those kind of challenges. And for bowlers, it's just about keeping that thing in mind and giving yourself the best chance of of getting him early. You know, these kind of batters, they either put you under pressure when they're there at the crease, or they get out. So it's just either way.
Yes, that's what we've seen with someone like Head. He either takes it away or then he goes home early. That's how it's been. But Joyda, there's someone I want to talk about who you have known very well for very long is Varun Chakravarthy, and just the growth of Varun, because he's going to be he's going to be bowling, India's bowling first. So he is someone who seems to have proved himself in subcontinent conditions, but do you think he's become conditions agnostic with the way he's bowled now in Australia, even in South Africa? That last game we saw very good numbers again. So do you think he's grown in numbers?
I mean, he's always growing. I mean, you expected of a guy who at the age of 25 suddenly turns around and says that I want to play professional cricket. I mean, to decide at that age. So he, you know, in the interview also, and Gaurav did a fantastic
interview. Yes.
And his ability to be able to turn around and say that, you know, 5 deliveries, I'm learning 3 new deliveries every time. So he's constantly evolving, because, you know, his kind of bowling, it's like an arms race. If they catch you and they get used to one of your deliveries, and then you're going to go, because you don't have pace on your side or a lot of spin on your side. You have deception.
Correct.
So his thing is that he has to keep evolving. And I think what he does really well is that he's the biggest student of his own game. You know,
very much like Ashwin, no?
Very much like Ashwin. Very much like Ashwin. Both of them, if you see, they're not physically the most mobile people. They're not really athletic, but they're thinkers and they just don't give up. And I think I love that about them, because, you know, he's going to do something, then he's going to say, okay, now they found out this, let me go to the next one. And I think that's why he's adjusting well. It's been amazing, because if you remember the last time he came down for the World Cup, he didn't have a great World Cup in Australia because the conditions didn't suit him then. So, I mean, the way he's adjusted this time has been fantastic.
Well, Joyda, you don't need to say you love him, because we know which team he plays for in the IPL. KKR fan, Joyda will always love someone like Varun. But Zach, between Varun and Kuldeep, it's very, very difficult to pick. But someone like a Gautam Gambhir has picked a Varun today over Kuldeep. What is the differentiation factor between the two? They're very different, but if you have to pick one, like today, Varun's been picked. Why do you think they've gone ahead with the Varun?
I think it's the trajectory which he's been bowling with, and the control which he has shown in the recent past. You know, that has been his success mantra. Under pressure or not, he will try to go use that drift in, attacking the stumps. And I think where Kuldeep, you're just comparing with him, it's always going to be that that comparison of what pace Kuldeep is bowling at, whether the pitches are assisting that much or not, whether the batters are able to take him on. Because of the pace which he bowls, there will be times when the batters will be going after you. But what has worked in Kuldeep's favour is the wicket-taking aspect of things, you know, which makes him that attacking option as well. So you need to nurture him in that way. You know, so you need to give him that kind of confidence that, okay, there are going to be off days, but then it's just the thought process which matters in this scenario. When you want to go safe, then obviously you'll have a finger spinner which will have better control. If you have left-handers in the opposition, which clearly right now is the thought process that, you know, just have better control and contribution with the bat. If you're not thinking about those aspects, then the choice becomes simpler. If you're just thinking on bowling, then Varun and Kuldeep both fit into any playing 11 in this format. Because they both have the aggressive style of bowling. They both have been very consistent with picking wickets. So that is something becomes easier. But here with this think tank we've seen, the emphasis is little bit on bowler who can contribute with the bat also and make that impact. Last innings also, Indian batters couldn't really score that many runs. So that is on the hindsight playing on their mind for sure. You know, to set up the game, you need runs, and then they're thinking that, okay, you know, after that you have the bowling attack to defend.
Well, we know Varun Chakravarthy got head out in that previous game, also in the Champions Trophy, very similar. So for Indian fans, let's hope he can do it for the third time. Joyda, you're back in the studio. The pressure is off me, and I'm very relieved when you're in the studio. You can take the joy factor question.
Yeah, and for a T20 game, I've decided on a test match question. Okay, Jaiswal, Ben Duckett, Shubman Gill and Aiden Markram are among the most recent to accomplish which unusual feat in Test cricket? All 4 of these have done this in Test cricket. Obviously, Jaiswal and Shubman have done it fairly recently, as is Markram.
This could be sorted
Unusual
out.
feat, yeah. It
Oh,
can be
unusual.
solved. Yeah, it can be worked out because I'm asking you just about the feat. It's not a date or a time.
But you have, Joyda, been bowling googlies to us. There's been no connection to the game because you had
No,
a
now I
pattern,
have no
right?
connection.
So now you're putting
you
it
have to
out
keep
there.
change it. Then I'll come back after a while.
So now, but you should give us that disclaimer that now that is...
No connection to the game,
No
right?
connection to the game. That's the disclaimer. There are 2 runs of the first ball. So let's quickly do our predictions, Zach. Our innings prediction for today, India bowling.
I'm looking at 165.
Okay, the first figure that came to my mind was 172, but I'm going to actually change it and say, no, okay, I'll stay at 174 so that I give some distance between me and Zach.
165, 174 because, Zach, you told me it's a high-scoring game. It's very tough on the bowlers. I'm going 178.
Okay, you're all tight.
Yeah, we're all close by. But not only do we want to win the prediction game, not only do we want to see India come out bowling very well, but we also are keeping our fingers crossed that the rain stops at the DY Patil and we get a full game and we get to see our girls create history. So we will be keeping one television on with the women's game, one television on with the men's game. I hope you all are doing the same. Thank you, Joyda. Always so good to have you back, Zach. Always lovely to have you on a big World Cup final day. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back at the 10 over point, the Cricbuzz com box. See you all soon.